Welcome back, guys. It's Zhao here, and today we got an absolute gorgeous kit, the mononuclear MNP-XH05 Zhao Yun. It's got a freaking horse. A horse. And as always, I got this kit from Gundamit.com, my go-to place for third-party and independent release kits. And whenever you're over there checking them out, be sure to go in that top left-hand corner and type in supporter code DEL. Whenever you purchase stuff, it just gives me points. So it helps out the channel with no additional cost to you. Well, besides hurting your wallet's feelings by buying more plastic. But thank you, and the link will be in the description. Now let's get back to that review. Starting off here with the unboxing, you're going to find an absolute ton of plastic. A whopping 134 runners, making for a very lengthy build, but a wonder of parts and color separation, as this kit features 0 stickers. But don't let that runner count intimidate you. A lot of these runners only have a couple pieces on them, due to them being pre-painted. So don't worry, you'll be alright. Instead of relying on those stickers, on a lot of these clear parts on the kit, it utilizes silver paint underneath them to make them really pop. And with a wonderful and easy to follow manual, it has this kit split into 2. Zhao Yun himself and the horse. As I said before, the horse is an entire kit on its own. I should mention that the box has them separated as well, so whenever you're getting ready to build it, you can just take out the half for the Zhao Yun and set the box with the horse parts aside. And luckily, the instructions tell you what runners each part needs beforehand, so it makes the build much more manageable. Now, the Zhao Yun features a full metal inner frame, which comes separated into segments, being the legs, arms, and chest, etc., as does the horse. The biggest issue I had while building this kit was attaching the torso onto the waist. It was very tight, and boy did I have to struggle. I live streamed part of the build, so if you're more interested in that and more in depth the building process, please go check that out. It's on the channel and I'll have it linked down in the description. But once the waist was on there, it moves fine and is not too tight. Hopefully this issue has been resolved and only affects early copies. Other than that, it was a 10 out of 10 build experience for the Zhao Yun. And now onto his white steed. Like I said before, this is a whole kit by itself as well, featuring the same metal inner frame parts, this time being separated into a body part and the 4 legs. While the horse maintains the full color and part separation as the Zhao Yun, it's a much more simpler build because it features many large parts for assembly. And this horse is huge and heavy, which I will show more of in the size comparison later in the video. This was really fun to build and very refreshing, and very different from your normal mecha model kit. While the design isn't for everyone, I loved it. And all that being said, with only one issue being the tight waist, this was an absolute blast to build, and before I knew it, it was all finished. And now I'm really wanting to build the other mononuclear kits so I can have them all displayed together. Don't worry, I will review those on the channel, even if some of them are getting a little bit older, but I think it'll be nice to have them here. So far, this kit is very positive for me, so let's move on to some size comparisons so you can really get an idea of how big this kit is, especially when Zhao Yun is mounted on the back of the horse. It's basically perfect grade size with the horse riled up. So the Zhao Yun has a head height of 26 centimeters or 10.24 inches. And here he is next to the Integrate RX-78, the Master Grade Mark II, the Master Grade Hainu Verka, the N-Era Lizard, and the 160 Monument Repair Type, aka Perfect Grade Tall Geese. And now when on the horse, he has a riding mode height of 35 centimeters or 13.78 inches. Here that is compared to the model kits that we just saw. Now here's the riding mode height whenever you have the horse stood as far as it can go, which comes into it at a height of 41 centimeters or 16.14 inches. And here that is in a nice little group photo, and as you can see, it just towers over everything, and the head of the horse even pops over the height of the Perfect Grade Tall Geese. Alright, now getting into the accessories of the Zhao Yun, we're going to start off with the hands, because there are a ton of them. First, we have some holding hands here, and you get a couple different wrist options. So like this one, we have the straight, And then this one you have an angled wrist option. Here we got some closed fist hands. We got some dynamic posed hands with a very angled wrist. Some more dynamic hands. Widespread open hands. And the reason these don't have any armor on the back of them is because you don't get enough pieces to build armor plates for all the hands. Some more relaxed open hands. Even more open hands. And then there's still some on the runners I haven't cut out yet, just because there's so many hand options. We got some trigger finger hands, closed fist hand, or that's an our holding hand, my bad. Fingers for it anyway. Yeah, tons of hands for this kit. Get any kind of dynamic pose you want out of them. And here we have a spear, which is very long. There's tons of part separation going up here at the top with these awesome lightning effect parts. Be careful with these lightning effect parts, as they can be very brittle. I broke mine by getting snagged on the reins of the horse. Let me see where I can, because I repaired it. I want to see if I can't find where I broke it. Aha, right here. I broke it right there. So that was on me. Just be a little bit careful when posing. If there's one con about the spear that I don't necessarily like, is that the handle is plastic. I would have liked a metal rod for the handle. While this does the job, I'm afraid that depending on your pose, it will probably droop over time because it's not very sturdy since it's so long. And with this, you got several points to mount into the hands. With that, you'll take one of your holding hands. Then there's just a peg in there. You line up the peg. And there you go. And like do is bring Grouse. He's so tall on this. Give me 1 second. And we can just take it and peg it into his arm. Just like that. And the wrist does like to droop a little bit, but not too bad. And he can hold the spear up just fine. It's super out of frame. Here, let me just oh, that's the wrong button. There we go. Get that wide angle on there. Yeah. That is a very sick spear. That does come with armor pieces to plug in holes where the lightning effects go if you don't want those. I have seemed to misplace mine, but they're just little 2 blue pieces of plastic just peg in there where those plug in. Up next we have a sword. Some awesome... You're gonna focus? There we go. Some great part separation and coloration here. Pull out the blade. Very, very cool sword. And same thing as the spear. We just take it. It's got the same kind of like little plug. And we can peg it into the hand. Some reasons is always hard to do through the viewfinder of a camera. Bruh. Just go in. Aha, I did it. And we can just take that. And plug her in. Oh, he's very a little top heavy right now. See here, we just move the arm out of the way. So you can take the sheath, and there's this little attachment here on his side skirt that we can just plug that in for storage. You can do it on the other side as well. You just gotta take this little tab out, and you can plug it in the other side if you want. And there is his sword. We got this little skirt extension, which is for using right here on the waist whenever he's not riding the horse. When you have him on the horse, you have to take this off to be able to mount him on the saddle. But it really adds a nice look to it if you, for some reason, don't want him on the horse. And if we come around back here, you'll notice these little tassels here coming off the back shoulders. If you don't want those, you get 2 little armor pieces to take those off and plug those in. I, for one, am keeping these cool energy shoulder tassel slash cape things. I think they look awesome. Up next, we have the action base. This is for the horse. It's got metal up here if it helps support the weight. And he's got a locking mechanism. But if you want to just have Zhao Yun, we can. Oh, this is going to be... Hold on a minute. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, I did it. There's little plastic tabs that keep it locked together. Take off that. And we can just plug that in there. And now they're like that. And now we have a action base just for using for Zhao Yun. Does not feature a metal part in it this time. But we can raise it up. And of course move it up and down. Like so. Yeah. So it's awesome that you would get options. Though if I were to give it to a con, I wish there was a standalone base option for using with the horse if you wanted to display it separately, but still have them both in very dynamic poses. But, you know, you can take what you can get. Alright, now it's time for articulation, and this is going to be very fun. So we got plenty of movement up here on the head. We got a back and forth on the neck. Ball joint. Look up that far. Down that far. Then back here on the head, we got the ponytail, which can move up and down. You can swivel the ponytail. It's going to be easier if I pull out the joint a little bit. We can do a 360 on the arm. We get a fairly good butterfly joint, forward and backwards. The shoulder can move independently. And then this little armor segment on here can move. We got a rotation at the bicep. Arm can go up that far. Double jointed at the elbow, but is blocked a little bit by the shoulder. While posing this, you're going to realize a couple things. Is that the metal frame is very tight, and he's very pointy and pokey. So it's going to be hard to find a place to grab him. So we got a very good ab crunch. And can even lean back a little bit. We got some side to side. Hip skirts they're on a ball joint. The front part here is on a ball joint, and the extra part here can go up and down. You have these little tassels here that just kind of like wiggle around everywhere. Back flap can move, and it can even... I know it can detach. Or maybe it can't. Am I stupid? Okay, no, I'm getting it confused with the front skirt. You don't have to take this apart for the horse. Only this. Boop. That's fine. Leg. Let's see if we can't move this up. We can get the leg up about that far. Can bend it very tight. We got some armor separation here. The thigh armor slides up. Pull knee armor there. We can move the side skirt to get the leg out. Completely horizontal. And same with moving the leg back. Then we get over here to the foot. Got a pretty good toe bend. Decent ankle pivot. It's just very tight. Little ankle armor here can move. Even the foot has die cast metal in it. there's a lot of die cast in this kit. You know what? Got through that much and only had one part fly off. I say that's not too bad. Then the tassels here, all these are ball joints. We can move this in any kind of way you need it to move. You even add more dynamicness. Is that a word? I'm gonna say it's a word. You can make your poses even more dynamic, adjusting this to really add more energy to your pose. So we're going to move him aside for right now. Now we're going to talk about the horse. So we got some movement at the neck. The head can tilt a little bit each way. Can get to look up a little bit, but doesn't want to stay. But we can open up the mouth. The reins here can each move up and down to adjust. Again, little tassels here. And the leg has in order to get it up, you're going to have to pull down on the joint, and then you can get that leg up. And of course it can bend. And the hoof even has some bend to it, along with these little energy parts off the back. What did I just say? You know, got through that much and only had one part fly off? I said that's not too bad. Anyway. You can roll that back up into place so he can stand. Oh, his back leg moved on me. There we go. Let me grab that. Get that put back on there. There we go. We keep that in. Keeps it real. Then your hind legs here can the tail. Highlands go basically all the way around. And there is a swivel to them. You can pull them out. And these can bend forward like an actual horse. Can't go back that far though. It's a little nubbin. Oh, the action base goes in his butt. I've retrieved the tail, and it's just on a swivel, so you can move out of the way. Not much posability out of the tail. But overall, the articulation on both the Zhao Yun and the horse are pretty good. It's kind of like a double-edged sword with the Zhao Yun, with his metal frame being so tight, and he himself is very pointy. Makes him a little hard to pose, but the firmness of the frame is going to mean he's going to be able to hold those poses for a long time without fearing of them getting loose. I've had this kit built for a little while now, and I've had him in a pose up on my shelf, and he's still just as tight as the day I built him. So I think that they did a really good job on this frame. Just a little too good. Alright guys, coming here at the end of the review, and what is my final verdict on this kit? Personally, this is a must-have, especially if you have the other motonuclear kits, and if you don't mind the spikiness. So we got plenty of pros to go over. It has some of the best parts and color separation I've seen. Virtually everything is undergated besides some effect parts. Not too many loose parts. I didn't have very many fly off while posing this, if none at all. The shelf presence alone is insane. With that horse in a standing up pose, it reaches over the head of a perfect grade. A solid inner frame which has shown no signs of getting loose. There are some cons to mention. The runner count can be a little hard to deal with. Hunting for parts you need, and with some of them being like a runner that only has one part on it, it can be kind of small to dig and hunt for. The weight attachment was just way too hard to assemble. You shouldn't need that much pressure to push it together. But like I said before, once it was on there, it was fine. Not too tight, not too loose. Still, hopefully that gets fixed. And posing Zhao Yun can be a little difficult as it's really pointy and you'll be poking your fingers while trying to move stuff around. With all that said, this is already one of my favorite kits I've built on the channel. I love looking at it all up on the shelf, posed up. It's fantastic. But yeah, you guys be sure to pick this one up when you can, and you know I'll drop that link in the description. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll keep putting out content. And as always, you guys make sure to take care.